the Grand Majestic Theater. Once a beacon of art and culture, now a mausoleum of forgotten dreams. Dust lay heavy on the velvet seats, once vibrant crimson, now faded to the ghostly hue of dried blood. The air hung thick with the silence of 1,000 unplayed melodies, 1,000,000 unsaid words. A single shaft of moonlight pierced the gloom, illuminating motes dancing in the stillness. This place was a tomb of ambition, a graveyard of aspirations. Cobwebs draped the ornate balconies like shrouds, remnants of a grandeur long gone. The velvet curtains, once a regal purple, were now tattered and bleached, resembling nothing more than a pauper's cloak. The scent of decay lingered, a musty perfume of neglect and time. Even the ghosts seemed to whisper here, their voices lost in the rustle of crumbling plaster and the scuttling of unseen things. A young woman, Elara, stepped onto the stage. Her footsteps echoed in the cavernous space, each footfall a stark counterpoint to the suffocating silence. Elara, with eyes full of dreams and a heart overflowing with passion, was oblivious to the oppressive atmosphere. She saw not decay, but potential. Not silence, but the anticipation of applause. Her script, clutched tightly in her hand, contained not mere words, but the keys to her future. The stage lights, cold and lifeless for years, flickered to life at her command, their weak glow barely penetrating the gloom. A single spotlight illuminated a lone wooden chair, placed center stage. It was for her scene partner, absent for this rehearsal. Elara didn't mind. Solitude was her companion, the silence her sounding board. Tonight, this forgotten theater was her stage, and she its only audience. She began her monologue, her voice gaining strength with every line. As she delved deeper into the emotions of the character, a disquiet settled upon her. The air grew heavy, the silence thickening, pressing against her like a physical presence. A prickling sensation ran down her spine, setting her teeth on edge. Her eyes darted nervously to the shadows that clung to the edges of the stage, her mind conjuring phantom shapes in the darkness. She shook off the feeling, attributing it to the overactive imagination of a young actress alone in a decrepit theater. But the unease persisted, a low hum of anxiety thrumming beneath her skin. It was the chair, she realized. The empty chair bathed in the pool of light. It seemed to draw her gaze, beckoning her, daring her to look away. Yet every time she did, she felt an invisible thread pulling her attention back to its vacant seat. Section 4. The Scream in the Silence. Suddenly, a cold draft swept across the stage, stirring the dust motes into a frenzy. The temperature plummeted, the air growing thin and icy. Elara's breath hitched in her throat. Her eyes, wide with terror, remained fixed on the chair. It was no longer empty. A figure began to materialize, taking shape within its wooden frame. The outline shimmered, indistinct, yet undeniably present. A scream, primal and raw, tore from Elara's throat, shattering the oppressive silence. It echoed through the theater, bouncing off the faded velvet and chipped gilt, a desperate cry lost in the vast emptiness. The figure in the chair flickered once, then vanished, leaving behind the echo of her terror and the empty chair bathed in the cold glare of the spotlight. Section 5. Silence falls again. Silence descended once more, heavier than before, smothering the last reverberations of the scream. Elara stood frozen, her chest heaving, her eyes wide with terror. The oppressive air, the icy chill, the feeling of being watched, all vanished as quickly as they had come. Only the echo of her own fear lingered, a phantom sensation in the stillness. Taking a shuddering breath, she slowly turned her gaze away from the chair. The spotlight seemed to mock her with its unwavering beam, illuminating nothing but emptiness. Had she imagined it all? Was it the stress, the isolation, playing tricks on her already frayed nerves? Or was it something more, something ancient and unseen, lurking in the shadows of the old theater? Section 6. The show must go on. Elara backed away, never taking her eyes off the chair. Each step was hesitant, as if the very air had turned to quicksand, threatening to drag her down. Reaching the edge of the stage, she turned and fled, her footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. The heavy stage door slammed shut behind her, the sound final, absolute. The theater was alone once more, shrouded in silence and dust. But in the silence, if one listened closely, a different sound could be heard. A soft sigh, a rustle of fabric, a faint chuckle echoing in the darkness. The show, it seemed, must go on.